This evening, residents accuse a good intent family of bad behavior. Guyanese miner murdered in Venezuela. Protesters descend upon City Hall. In the region, in Jamaica, man arrested for having over 500 traffic tickets. And internationally, Apple announces 20,000 new jobs.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Today is Thursday, January the 18th, 2018, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. Around midday yesterday, GEA officials intercepted a boat with over 100 drums of gasoline just off the mouth of the Pomeroon River. The boat was reportedly coming from Venezuela. 7 men who were on board, 5 Venezuelans and 2 Guyanese, have been arrested. Investigations are ongoing. Residents of good intent are angry over the actions of one family. However, the family in question believes that they are the true victims and even accuse their neighbors of being racist. Esther Sobers went out to the West Bank Demerara community to try to make sense of the matter.
Today, we're in Good Intent, Murphy Street, as the residents are alleging that a particular neighbor is making life difficult for them.
Since we come here and live, we have this problem.
The first year I came in this place to live was an issue with these people.
People just have a problem with me from the music. I was playing little bit music on the street. Whenever I play the music and have a little drink, they would call the police to turn off the music. When we turn off the music, that would be solved out. Then afterward, I would park the vehicle on the opposite side of them. There would be a problem to them. They call the police would come, tell me things.
And the neighbors came one after the other as they are alleging various complaints against this particular neighbor.
These people, they're just miserable. If you play music to moderate limit, they would call the police. Sometimes 3-4 times the police, they would be in this street.
He looked down the street, he heard these people playing the gospel. Not hard, was a car. Very calm and mild. However, his words was, is what these cross playing? They know God? And he cussing and he interacting and he going on and he showing his hands.
Well, normally if we are out here and they're in there, they've got a problem. The ball go in the yard, they cuss you out and tell you we ain't got nothing to do, we don't work no way, we stunts, you know.
And according to one resident, one of the confrontations with the neighbor had even turned violent.
And since I come here, I brought 1 pig to Murphy Street. And when that pig dropped her first piglet, my neighbors, they went with a cutlass and chop up my piglet. The matter reached attention to the Wales police station, and they begged one of my auntie's son to come and beg me to settle the story. And I settled that story. It cooled down for 2-3 years, and then they started again.
Each story has multiple sides. We approached the neighbor to defend herself against the allegations levied against her family. She was reluctant to speak on camera, but she noted that she and her family are the only Indians living in the street, hinting a racial bias against them. One of the residents flat out rejects the notion.
They are the racial ones. They are the racial ones. Now, we are all Negroes. They're East Indian. If we had a real problem with them, they would know. We just be out here, we fun, we do whatever it is. Nobody won't tell them anything. You understand? Nobody don't have a problem with them, but they have a problem with people.
Contact was also made to the Lenora Police Divisional Commander, Patrick Todd, who confirmed that several complaints were lodged at the station by the neighbor and the matter is being investigated to determine the truth.
I'm Esther Sobers reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Esther. If you feel like you've been wronged by a neighbor, employer, or any other relation, call the Channel 2 Headline News team at telephone number 218-4949. Again, that number is 218-4949. Or you can contact us on our Facebook page, Safe TV2 Headline News. Several citizens took to Regent Street to air their grievances against City Hall. Wendell Jeffrey was there and filed this report.
I mean, we've all seen the videos on TV of Marlon Fredericks being run down and kicked repeatedly in his face by a gentleman in red that they say is an off-duty policeman. And the very next day we found out he's shot dead in the back and left on the sidewalk to just die, just breathe, leave his last breath. And I've seen the video and I've heard his mother's screams. Somebody being shot in the back, come through the neck and being charged with manslaughter, that's murder.
A handful of protesters converged in front of the City Hall on Regent Street today, each choosing to address their own personal grouse on matters relating to the problems in the city. Don Singh, who labels himself simply as a citizen of Guyana, was very irate.
We have a citizen murdered in cold blood by the city constabulary. I mean, when did the city constabulary, first of all, graduate from batons and nightsticks to guns?
According to Singh, the city constabulary has a whole arsenal of weapons.
I mean, there's arsenals in there with M15s and AK-47s, if reports are to believe.
Singh also questions the kind of training that the city constables receive.
What training do they have? It's a smorgasbord of obscenity.
We're out here in support of Marlon Fredericks to remind this government that we're not going to just stand here and allow our citizens to be murdered by the officer. Shot down in cold blood, shot in his back. As you know, he was beaten the day before. He was murdered in front of his mother. So we're just here to remind the City Hall and the government that we want to see some action.
Another protester chose to highlight the alleged sexual assault against a teenage boy who was held for questioning at the City Hall outpost.
The word is that I'm still calling for their arrest, the investigation, and arrest of the mayor and the town clerk. They protected a child rapist for 2 months, and so far nothing has been done against them.
His claim is that the City Hall possesses many undesirables and needs to be purged.
These two people must be punished. Mayor Patricia Chase Green and Town Clerk Royston King must be investigated and arrested for harboring and protecting a child rapist. The City Hall is a nest of vipers. They need to be cleaned out.
There was also a protester assigned to the parking meter saga. He said that he was responsible for highlighting the newly approved parking meter contract.
We're here today protesting many issues, as you can see. I am in charge of protesting against the parking meters. The contract remains illegal, no matter how they sit down and renegotiate it. It's still an illegal contract.
This protester noted that the $150 an hour that the city accepted from Smart City Solutions is a trick. He said that the fee will soon be increased.
The nonsense with the reduced fee is just a way of easing it in back through the back door. I have no doubt that they plan on raising that fee as soon as they get their foot in. So we're back out here to say that we're not going to stand for this.
Renata Chakasan said that many things brought her to the protest line today.
What brought me out here is a number of things. City Council's inability to manage the city properly. City Council's inability to manage the city properly is demonstrated in a number of ways. They make decisions without properly consulting. They make decisions without the decisions being evidence-based. Parking meters is one issue. Then the issue with this young man who died as a result of being brutalized by the hands of the city police. He escaped. Well, I don't know if he escaped or he didn't escape, but he was shot in the back by a member of the city police. And we have not had an explanation from the chief constable as to what exactly happened.
I'm recommending that we review the entire city constabulary, their modus operandi, the way they are set up, and the whole thing. An inquiry must be held.
For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. The city constable responsible for the shooting death of a mentally ill vendor has appeared before the courts. Esther Sobers tells us more in this report.
Gregory Bascom, a 50-year-old Lance Corporal attached to the city constabulary, appeared before the Georgetown Magistrate Court today. He was handed a manslaughter charge for the death of 34-year-old vendor Marlon Fredericks. Bascom was not required to plead to the indictable charge. The court alleged that he unlawfully killed Fredericks on January 14, 2018 on Regent Road near Bowler Market. His lawyer described the killing as an unfortunate incident, but emphasized that Bascom was operating within his course of duties. Chief Magistrate Ann McLennan released Bascom on $800,000 bail. He was ordered to lodge his passport and report every Friday until the completion of the trial. Bascom is due in court again on February 12, 2018. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away, we have more news for you after the break. For the best Creole food in town, come to Ridley's Restaurant. Taste our hot meals, fresh bread, and sweet pastries. Our spacious dining hall is free for all occasions. For reservations and more, call 226-2518 or 225-7245. We're open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wrigley's Restaurant, located at 38 Robb Street, Laceytown, between King and Wellington Streets. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Ridley's Restaurant. Tasty and healthy eating.
Place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Welcome back. A Guyanese miner was murdered in Venezuela. Esther Sobers reports.
A young Guyanese miner has reportedly been beheaded in Venezuela by members of the Sindicato. The victim is said to be from Horosoro in Region 1. Persons from the young man's village gave his surname as Ramosindo. The killing is believed to have occurred at least a week ago. A video of the young man's execution was posted on Facebook yesterday. His killers are seen cutting off the victim's ears before beheading him. According to sources, relatives held a wake at Horosoro, but it is unclear whether the gang had handed over the body to the slain man's family. It is believed that it is not the first time that the Sindicato had murdered a Guyanese. Some blame the same group for the October 2017 killing of a miner named Devendra Sewak. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. The Guyana Cancer Foundation is determined to eliminate cervical cancer in Guyana before 2025. Wendell Jeffrey brings us that story.
Bibi Hassan, CEO of the Guyana Cancer Foundation, spoke of the foundation's initial plans. However, by the time the end of 2017 came around, they had screened more than 800 women for free.
Guyana Cancer Foundation decided to offer 250 women, low-income, underinsured, and medically underserved women, free pap smear.
Ms. Hassan explains that having multiple sexual partners increases your risk of contracting cervical cancer.
We started this year, we started it at Giftland Mall last week, and by special request again, we are asked to go on Saturday, and we will be there from 11:30 a.m. to 7:30 in the evening, and I'm asking all women that they can come and get a free pap smear done.
The foundation's head said that the massive GTT Pinktober held last October was a dream come true for her.
You're high risk when you have more than one partner.
Ms. Hassan is encouraged by her mother, who is a cancer survivor, and is spurred to fight the disease in honor of a very good friend who died from it.
Everything that I've visualized materialized Pinktober for me. And these were plans that I had 13 years ago I had all these visions, but it never materialized. One of it that I really wanted was these helium balloons up in the air, and that was one of my, what must I say, one of my biggest a great achievement for me at that time, because when I was on stage when those balloons were released in the air, and I got very emotional.
Bibi said that the mission of her foundation is to wipe out cervical cancer in Guyana within the next 7 years.
My mom is a breast cancer survivor, and I had a very close friend who died of breast cancer the year before, and you would never believe what happened to me that at the set time that balloon was releasing. She just came in front of me that same time when that balloon was releasing in the air. May God bless her soul.
For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Carjackings in the Georgetown area seem to continue unabated. More from Esther Sobers.
Sharon De Consica of School Northwest Bangdemerara relates that after parking her car under her house, she woke up this morning to find it missing.
I was out last night with some friends, and I returned home around 1 o'clock. And I normally park my car on the bridge, but last night after coming, I park it under the house. And I lock it, and I didn't put on the alarm because you get plenty dogs. The yard in your fence, so you get plenty dogs, and just jamming and making noise. So I park it under the house, I didn't put on the alarm. And this morning I wake up to drop my children to school. I send my daughter some bag in the car. When she gone, she said, "Mommy, no car." I say a lie. When I gone and check, no car downstairs. The car gone.
De Consica is just the latest victim in a string of carjackings that have plagued the capital city and its environs. The Guyana Police Force reported that carjackings spiked during the last quarter of 2017, with 47 cases reported compared to 35 cases in 2016 and 41 cases in 2015. The car missing is a white Toyota Premio PNN 9095 with the words De Consica and Family engraved on the front of the car screen. If you have any information on the missing car, you can contact 671-9131 or the nearest police station. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Join us after the break, where we take a look at Guyana, the region, and beyond. Stay with us.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
the best Creole food in town? Come to Ridley's Restaurant. Taste our hot meals, fresh bread, and sweet pastries. Our spacious dining hall is free for all occasions. For reservations and more, call 226-2518 or 225-7245. We're open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wrigley's Restaurant, located at 38 Robb Street, Laceytown, between King and Wellington Streets. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Ridley's Restaurant. Tasty and healthy eating. Welcome back. And we now take a look at the region. In the Bahamas, 6 persons are feared dead after a small plane went missing shortly after takeoff. The plane was departing the island of Andros, heading to the capital of Nassau. 3 men, 2 women, and a teenage girl were on board the Piper Aztec plane. Air traffic controllers lost radar contact shortly after 8 a.m. yesterday. 2 bodies have been recovered thus far. A 4.9 magnitude earthquake struck Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago Tuesday night. The quake started around 9:49 p.m., about 84 kilometers northwest of Trinidad's capital, Port of Spain, and 113 kilometers southwest of St. George's, Grenada. The depth was recorded at 23 kilometers. There are no reports of damage or injuries. And in Jamaica, a man was arrested with over 500 outstanding tickets during a recent traffic safety campaign. Here's TVJ News.
A man has been taken into police custody after he was nabbed in Kingston on Wednesday for having over 500 outstanding traffic tickets, along with 2 warrants out for his arrest. Head of the Police Highway and Traffic Division, Senior Superintendent Calvin Allen, is concerned that after the 2 traffic ticket amnesties, motorists are still not compliant. TVJ's Kalisha Williams reports.
2 traffic ticket amnesties issued between August 2017 to January 13, 2018, raking over $700 million. But although the second traffic ticket amnesty ended over the weekend, some motorists were not compliant. Head of the Police Highway and Traffic Division, Senior Superintendent Calvin Allen, said during a police operation along the Mandela Highway in St. Catherine on Wednesday, 1 motorist was found with over 500 outstanding traffic tickets and 2 warrants out for his arrest.
So naturally, he was taken into custody and he was taken before the court. I now learned that he has so far paid over some money based on some of those warrants that has been executed on him. He is still in custody as we speak, and I know that he will be facing the court again come next month.
Mr. Allen says his department will be intensifying strategies against persons who are found in breach of the Road Traffic Act, and he's issuing this warning to motorists.
You don't have to have 500 tickets for you to find yourself being inconvenienced. 1 ticket is sufficient. If it is left unchecked, you don't honor the payment date, you don't honor the court date, then that ticket is now on its way to become a warrant. And it is really not in our purview just to inconvenience anyone, but all we are doing is enforcing the law.
Kalisha Williams, TVJ News.
And internationally, Apple CEO Tim Cook promised that the company will invest $350 billion into the American economy over the next 5 years. ABC News reports.
We turn next tonight to an ABC News exclusive, our one-on-one this evening with Apple CEO Tim Cook, who made a major announcement today when it comes to American jobs, 20,000 new jobs. And Apple writing a check to the U.S. taxpayer for $38 billion from cash sitting overseas. It's coming back. And he promises investments in the U.S. that will hit $350 billion over 5 years. Tonight, where are the jobs coming? And we also ask, will there be a cheaper iPhone? And what about those batteries that slowed down? Here's Rebecca Jarvis.
Tonight, the biggest company in the world announcing a $350 billion investment in the United States. Apple saying it will create 20,000 new jobs and build a new corporate campus in an American city still unnamed. Apple CEO Tim Cook exclusively taking us inside the tech giant's massive data center in Reno, Nevada.
We're walking on the cloud right now.
The new lower corporate tax rate allowing Apple to write a check for $38 billion to the U.S. government.
Without these policy changes,
would you be able to announce today the creation of 20,000 new jobs?
No, there are clearly, let me be clear, there are large parts of this that are a result of the tax reform, and there's large parts of this that we would have done in any situation.
So it sounds like President Trump's tax bill has been a huge windfall for Apple.
Well, there are two parts of tax bill, right? There's a corporate piece and an individual piece. I do believe the corporate tax side will result in job creation and a faster growing economy.
We drove to a perch high above Apple's data center on 1,700 acres of Nevada land. Back on the ground, we asked about those batteries and whether Apple was clear enough that they were in some cases slowing down people's phones. Do you think Apple fumbled on teaching its customers about what was going on with their phones?
About a year ago, we released some code that essentially what it does is all batteries age over time, and they become unhealthy at a point in time. And an unhealthy battery has a probability that it will create an unexpected restart. When we did put it out, we did say what it was, but I don't think a lot of people were paying attention, and maybe we should have been clearer as well. And so we deeply apologize for anybody that thinks we had some other kind of motivation.
Rebecca Jarvis with Tim Cook exclusively today. The White House welcoming the news on these new jobs and the check being written to the U.S. taxpayer. In fact, the president tweeting right before we came on the air tonight. And Rebecca, I know that you asked, with all this money Apple is bringing back to the U.S., if customers might expect to see a cheaper iPhone.
Yes, David, that is unlikely. Tim Cook told me that the phone costs what the innovation inside of it costs, and he believes it is the right price for now, David.
And real quick, Rebecca, I know you tried really hard here. Did he give you any hint as to where this new campus might be, where the new jobs are coming?
They've narrowed it down to a handful of locations. It won't be in Texas or California, where Apple already has a big presence, and he tells me we'll get a clue coming up later this year.
And now for your 7-day weather forecast. Here's this week's bridge retraction schedule and today's foreign currency exchange rates. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and Friday evening at 6 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out for this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.